Good evening. Welcome to day 7 of 100 Days of Lives. All right, so I'm in bed. Look at that. Guys, it's 9:54. I've had a shower and I am in bed. This is like, oh my gosh, this is a miracle. So today, I was looking at my husband's Facebook because he posted he shared a good post, okay? Now, I know that one of my hashtags is throat punch, which you will totally get by the end of this live, okay? So just bear with me because I promise that we're going to get there. So my husband, Eric, hey Melanie, hey Chuck, Mindy, Lacey, Abby, hey guys, Chris and Julie, what up? All right. My husband, his name is Eric, just in case you didn't know. I don't even know where to begin. He was a pastor, and now he's in secular work. Anyhow, so he used to do a prayer call with Buckner International for orphan care, and he made a friend on his prayer call named Bruce Kendrick. And so they became Facebook friends because that's what you do in 2017, 2018, right? You meet someone on a prayer call and you become Facebook friends. Well, Bruce Kendrick, he is a big deal in orphan care. Hey, Jared. And he shared the funniest post today. So I just thought I would share that with you. And you get to see my Ricky in my glasses. But I needed good lighting in my bedroom because it's so dark. Okay, so here it goes. 7 things, this is Bruce's post, and he's wonderful. 7 things I wish Christians would stop saying to me. Hey, Mindy. Number 1. Don't tell my wife you have 9 kids, ... She'll start telling me we need to foster or adopt. Yeah, because really, people think it's totally cool that we have 1 million kids. And you can have 1 million kids too. That's my insert. So reasons, kids, even traumatized ones, are a blessing from the Lord. And you're intended to bring them hope and be a conduit for healing in their life. Number 2, when people say to us, gosh, you're a saint, or you're a good person, or you're a better person than I am, that's baloney. And you know why you shouldn't say that? Because we're just normal people. We're not really that great. But this is Bruce's reason, and his reason is probably better. I'm not that good of a person, and caring for vulnerable children and their families is an issue of obedience and not sainthood. So see, look, we're not saints. We're just trying to be obedient to God's call on our life. Number 3, I kind of like this one. You look good for having that many kids. My response to that, my personal response is, yeah, when I tell people I have 6 kids, they're like, oh, wow, you must work out. You're just so tiny. I'm like, no, I only had 2 out of my belly, and then I got a baby mama for the other 4. So it's a lot easier when you don't have to be pregnant a whole bunch of times. Now, Bruce, he was never probably pregnant because that would be really weird. So his response is, having kids, any number of them, doesn't mean you have to be haggard looking, overwhelmed, or unkept. Now, I will be super transparent with you. If you see me during the week, I might look a little bit crazy. I might even look stressed or overwhelmed. And gosh, showers are not always my friend, or putting on makeup. I try really hard, which is why I started selling Limelight, because hashtag self-care. I needed to be better at that, but I'm working on that. So anyhow, 6 kids, it's just really hard sometimes. The struggle is real. All right, number 4, don't ever say, we've thought about fostering or always wanted to foster to adopt. Reason. while you're thinking about it and weighing the risk reward, millions of children are lingering in group homes, in residential treatment centers, and orphanages from your own backyard, or from our own backyard to every country around the world. So there are so many kids that need a loving and safe home, and you can be that person. So instead of thinking about it, gosh, if the Lord lays that on your heart, Eric always says, just say yes. Say yes. If the Lord's laying it on your heart and you want to take in some more kids, just say yes. God wants you to say yes. Thank you, Vivian. Thank you so much. Number 5. Oh, and let me just say, as a foster and adoptive parent, this is probably what we hear 99.9% of the time. And I'm just going to go ahead and call you out on this. I'm sorry, I love you, but I have to call you out because I love you. This is lame. So don't ever use this excuse. This excuse doesn't cut it with us, okay? And it is, I would foster, but it would just hurt too much to let go, or I would get too attached. And guess what, guys? You don't get to say that. Do you want to know what Bruce says about that? My saying is you're lame. Number 2, he's much nicer. So this is what our friend Bruce says. He says, if the only cost of our faith is tithing, we're doing it wrong. Ouch. Christianity guarantees sacrifice and suffering on part of the believer, along with overwhelming joy and peace in the midst of it. And a child needs healthy adults to learn to attach appropriately. So, yeah, Claudia, I know you've heard the same thing. Man, I would love to be a foster parent, but I would just get so attached and I could just never do it. Well, while you're not doing it, I'm sorry, this is so mean. While you're not doing it, there are still kids in care. So even if you decide, man, I don't want to be heartbroken because a kid might reunify with their parents, there's still a kid hurting out there with no place to go, who's been traumatized, who needs to see healthy attachment and experience healthy love and a family. So you can be that person. Okay, and that kind of leads naturally into number 6. I could adopt, but fostering, how do you deal with parents? And believe me, we know it's hard with biological parents. It's not easy, but guess what, guys? The biblical precedent to care for vulnerable children is to restore them to their family. Crazy. Adoption is great and it's needed, but if we haven't prioritized family restoration at any level, we are misrepresenting the gospel. So guys, reunification, I mean, if you're in foster care, reunification is almost always the primary goal on your case. So you want to love on that bio mom and that bio dad or whoever, whatever family member is going to be doing visits and getting the kids, because you are giving them a glimpse of the gospel. You are tangible, like a tangible gospel sitting right there ministering to them every single visit. You get to do that. Not your neighbor, not your friends, not me or Eric. You get to do that because God has called you for that time and that purpose. And that is so cool. No one else can do it but you. You know how to minister to that mom. God will give you that because you're parenting her children. You're teaching her parenting skills as you're being equipped to deal with a trauma and things that are manifesting themselves in her children and their behavior. You're able to help her just with different things that you learn along the way. Anyway, so this could be a great opportunity to help a mom or a dad or an aunt or uncle or grandparent, whoever, and be the hands and feet of Jesus. Okay, moving on. We get this one a lot too. Oh man, this rubs me wrong. This really rubs me wrong. I'm so sorry. As we were getting ready to take kids into our home, we got this question all the time. Well, what about your kids? What about my own kids? Oh, we even had someone ask us this question really burns me. Well, when something happens, do you already have therapy set up for your kids? No. We are trusting in Jesus, who's greater than all the things, okay? That's who our hope and our trust is in. We didn't have therapy already set up. So what does Bruce say? What about my own kids? Because that's a normal question. And that really did scare us in the beginning. Whenever we thought about, bringing kids who had been exposed to certain things into our home, it was, fear. The fear of what about our family was really, really real. And yes, Claudia, same thing. Your family's fear for your family is really, really, really real. But Jesus is better and bigger. So our own kids are also the Lord's kids, and they could greatly benefit from seeing your faith lived out to the degree foster care and adoption requires. So guess what, guys? Even though it's scary, you have to remember that God loves your kids more than you love your kids. And the kids that you have, God actually gave them to you. And when you're walking in obedience, that's good stuff. Okay, so Bruce ends his wonderful post with, if you were to say one of these things to me, I will not bite your head off, and I will lovingly redirect you, but I will daydream of throat punching you as we talk. So guys, when you ask crazy questions and you say crazy things to foster and adoptive families, we're not going to hate you. We're still going to be your friends. We will lovingly redirect you, for sure. And we might secretly dream of throat punching you. And what is one thing? We wish Christians would continue saying, how can I help? That's what we should be asking. Not all those silly questions, but how can we help? How can we make a difference? We should be asking, how can we help? Because it's life-giving to know, even when someone hasn't thoughtfully wrestled with their response to the biblical instruction to care for these children and families, you're not avoiding the issue. So, hopefully tonight, Mr. Bruce Kendrick has given you a little something to chew on before you go to bed. Being a foster parent and being an adoptive parent is hard, and working through the emotions of all of it is hard. Gosh, we still have one kid left in foster care, and even though she's part of a sibling set of 4, doesn't mean that she's going to stay with us. And every day, I have to wrestle with this crazy fear of what if? What if she goes to a family member? What if they separate her from her siblings? What are we going to do? It is going to be crazy devastating to our family. How can I survive without her? And I have to watch myself, because I will get in this weird mood where I mourn the loss of my child before she's ever even gone. But in all actuality, she's not really mine. This is who God has given me and trusted me with for just a little bit, or maybe for the rest of her life. I don't know. But, you have to say no to fear, because fear, that's a tool of the enemy. He just wants to use it so that kids will stay in care, families will continue to just be disrupted. But, God works all things for good for those who love him and are called according to his purpose. So if he's calling you to do a hard thing and to take kids in your home that have been exposed to trauma or have had just a horrible childhood, you can bring them in your home, and through the power of Christ in you, you can make a difference in their lives. And even if it's one kid can change a cycle, and you can completely change help change the trajectory of their life. And that's the goal. The goal is to break cycles and to show them that there is another way to show and model healthy attachment, healthy love, healthy marriage, healthy families. Gosh, this is what it's about, guys. Anyway, sorry. It's all I just get all passionate and worked up. Anyhow, thank you so much for joining my live tonight. Day number 7 out of 100. So, good night. Keep it real. And, oh gosh, I'm getting off before Cody heckles me. If you have any questions about foster care or adoption, definitely let us know, because we'd love to help you or answer any questions that you have. Talk to you soon.